Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 175 right now with Nick Kalikas from MMAOddsBreaker.com, and also joining us over the phone from MMAOddsBreaker.com, MMA analyst Adam Martin. All right, guys, Uriah Hall and Thiago Santos is the fight we're going to analyze now. And Hall, you know, he's a little bit I mean, when he looks good, he looks awesome. But he also is a little bit inconsistent, minus 425 right now, and Santos is plus 305 on the other side. And let's start with you, Adam Martin, because you have a great read on totals. I like the way you think on totals. Now, when I was analyzing this fight, I thought, you know, it's kind of like a mixed bag for both fighters. You know, Hall, sometimes he looks great, sometimes he gets beat pretty bad. So I was thinking the under 2.5 at minus 120 might be the way to go. But now I'm seeing that it's gotten bet significantly to the over. Now the over is minus 150, the under 2.5 is plus 110. What's your take on that?
It's tough. I'm kind of leaning towards the over, though.
Okay.
Me and Nick talked this one a little bit earlier. It was minus 120 when we talked. So, like you said, it's minus 150 now. It's a little bit higher juice. But I'm kind of leaning towards the over here. I think that Hall's just going to kind of play a point fighting game in this fight. At the same time, though, he does have that devastating knockout power as well. He has that crazy kick on the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah. An amazing kick. And Thiago Santos, his last fight, he was actually one of the biggest underdogs in UFC history that won the fight. He was plus 660, and he won the fight by body kick knockout in the first round. So he's got some knockout power too, but I just think that this fight, it's going to be kind of Hall playing a point fighting game for 3 rounds. I just see him kind of disappointing again. He's a good fighter for sure, but I just kind of feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on him in this fight, and I don't feel like he's going to live up to the expectations. So I'm kind of leaning towards the over here. Wouldn't shock me if there was a knockout in this fight, but at the same time, I just feel like based on the way he has fought in the UFC, he's fought very tentative for the most part, and you know, he didn't knock out Chris Lieben cold. Chris Lieben kind of, he's been taking so much punishment in his career, he couldn't take any more in that fight. So I understand what happened there. But I think Santos is a bit fresher, and he should be able to last 3 rounds if he does go that far. So I'm going to go with over 2.5 here. But my pick is Uriah Hall to win the fight by decision, that's for sure. And honestly, like, if it dips a little bit lower, I might even be tempted to bet this guy here because I think people are overrating Santos, if anything, based on his last win. I think Hall should definitely be able to afford to win in this fight. I think he should win this fight. But he has disappointed in the past, so you never know with this guy.
All right, Nick Kalikas, it's a big line considering that Hall is still officially 1-2 in the UFC. Where'd you open this line?
It was around 4-1, so it stayed about ballpark, honestly. And you know what? It's one of those factors that Hall has always had a huge line, and he's always been overrated. I mean, since fight 1 in the UFC. So
yeah,
you got to take that in consideration every time with this guy. I mean, there was all that hype that he was an instant contender when he was on the Ultimate Fighter. People were saying that he's ready to challenge Anderson Silva at that time. Ridiculous now if you look back at it. But this is a fight kind of catered for him to win. I mean, honestly, we think about Hall, we think about his striking. But you know what? The guy's definitely worked on his overall game, and he's got some underrated wrestling too. So I think he can control Santos, get some takedowns if he needs to here, and put Santos on his back, ground and pound him a little bit, control more of it. I wouldn't be surprised Adam is right, probably. It does more than likely go over here. But again, both these guys have enough knockout power that you're risking a little bit, going with the over. But at the same time, that makes more sense. But I think that's what's probably going to happen. I think on the feet, it'll be fairly close, but I give the slight edge to Hall there as well. And on the ground, though, he has a much bigger edge.
You know, here's what I'm thinking. We know that Hall's been called out as maybe someone who's not really a finisher, that he should be more of a finisher. Maybe he's looking to do that. And on the Ultimate Fighter, of course, he looked scary at times. He got a bunch of knockouts there. Santos' last 2 fights ended really early. But you're still liking the over, Nick. Why is that?
Well, because, I mean, Hall hasn't performed up to expectations. I mean, if you look at it, like, Adam said about Lieben, I mean, he wasn't able to finish Lieben in his last, but we all know Lieben has a granite chin in most cases. But Lieben these days, I mean, Hall should be able to finish. And he's had some other opportunities there as well. But you're right in one thing. I mean, Santos, his chin is very questionable as well. So this could be the fight Hall finally shows up and puts him out. So, yeah, I'm a little bit more skeptical with the over. But at the same time, if he does get some takedowns, Hall does, and kind of grinds him out a little bit, plays it a little bit safer, then it could hit.
All right, Adam Martin, do you think that Hall might change up his style a little bit, trying to prove that he's more of a finisher than people are giving him credit for?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, the guy obviously needs to show up. Dana White and Chael Sonnen and everyone on Ultimate Fighter was talking about this guy, like Nick said, as possibly a contender at 185 pounds. And, the guy lost to Kelvin Gastelum, who's fighting at 170 now, and John Howard, who's fighting 170 now. Those are 2 very disappointing losses. And honestly, listen, I respect Chris Lieben a lot, but beating him these days doesn't mean anything to me. It really doesn't. So the guy has to show me a little bit more. At the same time, though, I really do think he wins this fight. I don't think Santos is that good of a fighter at all. So I like Hall here.
All right, your official pick will be Hall by decision.
Correct. Yeah, I like Hall by decision. I think he outputs him en route to a 3-round decision, 30-27, I think.